it will start a range of bankrupts.
Either we're building the most expensive mistake in the history of capitalism, or we're not building nearly fast enough.
Every player tries to repeat model of Uber.
I firmly believe that there is a possibility where we just cannot make this.
Is AI overbuilt or underbuilt? What do you think about this, Carlos?
AI, to me, first of all, that's an important question that nobody seems to be asking. It is to the point where, to me, it's overbuilt. It's overbuilt because we are this close to AGI, but I will explain that later. But for me, just to answer that question, it's overbuilt. What about you?
I will say 50 on 50. There are a side which tells that it looks pretty weird because companies are investing in the same inference and GPU, which will be deprecated after only 3 years. And there are some risks here because after 3 years, they can still not return their investments, which makes it unreasonable and just lack any sense. And in such case, it will start a range of bankrupts of big companies, which are a frontier here in this competition. And we have already invested in capital expenditures by main favorites here, more than 600 billions of dollars, which is pretty much, I would say. Amazon has invested 200 billions, Alphabet almost 180 billions. Meta have invested 135 billions, Microsoft 145 billions, and there are fresh data from year 2026, and probably they are not planning to stop. The only one pretty big company in this competition is Apple, who decided to not increase their investment in AI. They have chosen approach by just using what other companies will present them as a tool, and they will provide a chance to their customer to choose which one provider they prefer personally, which will charge Siri.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, like you said, it's crazy to think that there is this giant corporations, but Apple has always been Apple. Like Amazon has always been Amazon, right? They're working on their thing. Then we have these big players that are working in AI that are investing a real huge amount of money on these things as well. And it's either, you can see the number that you mentioned, 650 billion. Like, what is that in perspective? What does $650 billion look like? I thought it'd be pretty nice to kind of see what does that look like physically, visually, because I cannot grasp the idea of how much money these people, companies are spending on this. And to me, it's either we're building the most expensive mistake in the history of capitalism, or we're not building nearly fast enough. The thing is that what I keep seeing, what I keep watching, what I keep looking at every time that I watch news or something, not the news, because like, who watches the news, right? But like where I get my research from, they keep talking about a bubble bursting. There is this idea that I thought that was going to be forgotten about, and it's the idea of a bubble. I thought that we were past that. I thought that we were like, okay, this is not a bubble because this is taking a lot more momentum. And it's every time it's like you close your eyes and you open your eyes and something is happening and someone else is investing crazy amounts of money. So I thought we were past this is a bubble thing, but apparently not. Apparently every time that something like this happens, the energy required to keep the servers going is finite. It's finite, and at some point something's gonna happen. Something is going to burst. That's for sure.
About energy, they are planning, estimations are showing that in 2028 in the US, data centers will spend more than 12% of wall electricity, which is pretty much because now it's something around 6% only. Maybe Maybe it's even underestimated. Maybe it will be something around 15 or more percent in the future. We don't know. Everything can be changed.
Yeah, but also everything. Yeah, you say everything can be changed, but at the end of the day, what's going to matter? It's what gives the big players the most amount of profit, which is crazy to think about profit. But because you think about OpenAI, and I don't think they're going to end up with any money in the pocket. But
Yeah.
also,
At this moment, every player tries to repeat model of Uber, which burned money for first 5 years, and but Uber didn't change the whole market.
well, we talked about this the other day because I was about to say I don't think so because everybody is using AI. But you said no, 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 no. Not everybody's using AI. Everybody around us is using AI because we're in this environment. But there's millions of people that don't know how to put a prompt in.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm forcing all the time my parents to use any AI. I have installed them every possible app on their phones. Yeah, to just create situation where they have on every page of their desktop some random AI apps. Yeah.
nice. But see, that's the thing. You have to have a son that is way into this for them to be able to interact with it. But there's so many people that just don't have the opportunity to it. Like they're maybe not as excited towards AI as we are. So it's not a fair comparison to say that versus like what happened to Uber, because I think it's a broader difference. To use AI, you need to have a computer. Actually, no, you can use it for your with your phone, and I feel like we live in a time where everybody has a phone now. Like, doesn't matter what kind of upbringing you have. If you have money, if you don't have money, I think everybody has a phone. It's fair to say that everybody has a phone. Even homeless people sometimes, like you see them with phones, smartphones as well.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So you can use AI if you were to know what it was, right? If you were to know what it was. So potentially, I think it's not fair to compare to Uber because I think AI would be used by a lot more people, which again raises the question is the what will happen once we are all used to it and then they suddenly start to not use it anymore. Because I firmly believe that there is a possibility where we just cannot make this. We cannot keep building. So that's the reason why I keep thinking that it's overbuilt. We cannot keep building it anymore, and we got to stop because there's not money to be made. At some point, investors are not going to be able to invest more money on it. They're not going to see the return of investment, and then what's going to happen? Are people going to do it for free? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. She's going to pull the plug out, and you just left humanity with no AI. Like now, what we do? Now what? Back to normal.
There are such criteria how we can also compare if it's overbuilt or underbuilt. Like Goldman Sachs notes that AI capex has reached only 0.8% of GDP, which is still below the 1.5 of peak of dot-com bubble in 90s, which shows us that maybe it still looks reasonable, especially looking on how much advantages it can provide and how much it transforms wall areas and markets, which abilities it creates. Yeah, maybe it makes sense. Yeah, and now there's, from my perspective, it doesn't look in the way where AI can be just become forgotten, because we have already probably profitable company which is Anthropic, which already gets pretty high revenue, and they have a very good economy, and it looks pretty well now from their perspective. We have AWS, which belongs to Amazon, which earned 142 billion annualized revenue, as they are mentioning at big stage regarding to AI too. And also Microsoft's cloud rose a lot. Many people says also not without a role of AI in all these tools.
Yeah, it's also, I feel like the skills that you mentioned also are because you're building other skills. Yeah, I think that's something that it's not quite talked about. It's not only what is building inside of us, also, it's a different set of skills. Yeah, of course, that makes it a little bit more difficult for a technology like this to be just like pull the plug off and then just say bye bye. It's like it can't work like that. That we're already set in ways. I wouldn't imagine a life where I would have to write my emails again manually. Like that would be kind of crazy, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. There are already a lot of ways how to, particularly at least, write emails, like you mentioned, even without using any subscriptions like OpenAI. You can just install Gemma model using Olama on your laptop if you have Apple, for example. Maybe in future will be also opportunity to install pretty decent models on cheaper laptops like something from Dell with only 8 gigabits of RAM. We will see. But now you can have a starting point of Apple M2, M3, M4 with 16 gigabits of RAM, and it will be enough to install some sort of Gemma 4 model which can be self-hosted on your laptop and can pretty well write emails without even any subscriptions. This model is all your, and you can use it without internet. You don't need more, nothing here. And this means that in future, even if in some point of time tokens will become extremely expensive, it's will not mean that we will stop to use them. It's definitely will mean that we will use them in some other way, and it will transform understanding how to use them properly. But it will still keep our demand on AI, which was already created in humanity, I think.
You said something key that I think it just like kind of broke my mind a little bit. Tokens are going to be more expensive and more expensive and more expensive. Wouldn't it be too insane to think that the currency of the future might be tokens? Like people would start paying their rent with tokens?
Yeah, but tokens probably, if we will go farther, energy will a new currency because tokens are inference which is charged by energy. As in, this is energy is a thing which is the most important in all this scenario. As Elon Musk mentioned, energy is a currency of future, and this is probably one of the reasons why he decided to build his data center in the space. From the same reason, using just solar batteries for charging it. Yeah, probably we will see if it will be a successful project or not. But knowing Elon Musk, I think chances on success are pretty high. I think. What do
Pretty
you
high.
think?
That is what's been told. I mean, sorry, that's what he's been showing. He's but we don't know about his mistakes, right? I don't know how public he is of other failed companies or failed projects, right?
You can read about him, Walter's Isaacson book, yeah, about Elon Musk, autobiography of Elon Musk, and there are a lot of details of every his fail. And this guy, he's amazing. Nothing can scare him. After you will read this, I think you will be surprised how much fails he had already.
Oh, that makes
In
sense.
the beginning of 2000s, there was a lot of times when he almost became a bankrupt after being a multimillionaire with more than 100 millions of dollars, and after that with less than zero. Yeah, but finally, yeah, he's who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's for the recommendation for today for the book. I would have to check it out because I really haven't done my homework in that regard. But yeah, that is one thing. So I guess one thing to know for me specifically is, as we always ask the audience. What do you guys think? Is this thing overbuilt? Is this not built enough? When is enough? That would be something cool to see what our audience may think, and yeah, and see if we can get some debate going in the comment section for sure.
Yeah, it will be cool to hear what you think. Maybe you know something what we don't know, and it will be nice to discuss. Maybe you have a totally opposite point of view on all this situation, and it will be cool to know. Yeah, please write us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quick thing before we go, guys. An algorithm decides whether this conversation ever reaches anybody.
And we know exactly how this algorithm think. So trust us right now. It's watching what you do next.
So if you comment, it decides this matters. If you like, it shows more humans. And if you subscribe, then you're back next week.
So feed the machine and tell us down there what you think.
So see you next time.
See you.